on contestability of the market. Okay, so this is a 15 marks question, right? Okay, so what happens is this, a few keywords over here that of course you have to take note, okay, which is in this case, because to what extent, so of course you know that this is supposed to be a two-sided question where it basically comprises of both the thesis and anti-thesis analysis, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so we need to have like a thesis and of course our anti-thesis later on. Then of course, because of another keyword here, which is efficiency of firms. So efficiency, what do you think will be the efficiency of firms? What do we refer to over here?
Allocative efficiency,
Good.
productive efficiency, and dynamic efficiency.
Okay, very good. Now, the next thing is that we have to identify also the next important keyword, which is the contestability of the market, right? Okay, so what do you think is the contestability of the market referring to?
Potential threat of new entrants.
Okay, very good. Okay, so that is the potential threat, okay, of new, okay, potential of new entrants. So basically, right, these firms, right, hasn't yet entered the industry, but it is actually a possibility that they may actually enter. Okay, so yes, we do have all these keywords explained, or in a sense to, you know, based on a command word, what we are supposed to do. So this is pretty much what you have to put in for your introduction, which is the invisible component. So you have to basically define each of these. Okay, each of these meaning to say you have to define contestability, you have to define A, E, P, E, D, E. Okay. Make sense, yeah? Okay, very good. Now, what happens is after you have defined that, then we of course move on to the body, right? So for the visible component, okay, structure. So visible component, we have our body, okay, which is, I mean, because here, this is the invisible component, lah. Okay, this is all the invisible component. Okay, invisible component. Body, which is the visible component. Okay, body paragraph, you basically will have your thesis as well as your anti-thesis, right? So thesis heading is yes, but of course when I say yes doesn't mean say you really put like, you know, paragraph like yes. It just means that your train of thought will have to be along the line of yes, efficiency of firms depends on contestability, right? Okay, so efficiency depends on contestability. Okay, the antithesis is no. Okay, of course, efficiency doesn't depend on contestability. Okay, all right. Okay, so what happens is this. What do you think roughly will be your arguments to explain like how efficiency is dependent on contestability? Okay, so you may want to cover like allocative, productive, and dynamic efficiency.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So for allocative,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I can help you with that. No worries. On the spot, you can generate some points, then I can correct you. Yeah. So maybe you can think along this line. What happens? What happens when there isn't any what do you call that? When there isn't any like potential threat, okay, to this industry, to this market, okay, to the existing firm. What happens when there isn't any potential threat? What do you think is likely to be the level of allocative, productive, and dynamic efficiency? You get what I'm trying to say?
So if like there's no potential threat, then the firms will have no incentive to innovate.
Okay, very good. Why would they not have the incentive to innovate?
Cause low level of competition.
Okay, very good. So you can say, what do you call that? Low competition, right? So
Yeah.
no incentive to innovate. So with that, right, prior to the potential threat of new firms, right, it's likely that with no incentive to innovate, there is actually, what do you call that? Firms are unable to achieve what? Unable to achieve dynamic efficiency. That's right. But after which, right, what happens when there's contestability? Oops. Okay, what happens when there's contestability?
Then it will be high level of competition.
Good. Okay, why is that
Cause,
so? Why so? You're right about why. You must
cause
always.
like the increased number of firms in the market.
Oh, okay. Good try, okay, Xiang, but you cannot say that there's an increase in the number of firms in the market because the thing is that the firms hasn't yet actually entered the market. It's more of like a potential threat that they are going to come into the market. So you can only say that with the fact that there's contestability of the market, it could possibly lead to new firms entry, right? What happens when the new firms, let's say lah, they hasn't yet entered, but they might possibly enter. So if they might possibly enter, then we know that the existing firm, which is the incumbent firm, we call it incumbent firm, means the existing firm will lose what? Market
Power.
market
Market share. Market share.
correct. Market share. So do they want this to happen? Do they want to lose their market share?
No.
That's right. So what will they do? They are likely to want to, therefore,
Secure.
R&D.
Yeah.
Where they are more likely to engage in R&D to do what? To actually come up with new products. Make sense? Okay, so they are likely to actually engage in R&D to come up with new products. So what's the purpose of these new products? The new products is so that, it will actually help to retain the customers.
Market share.
Correct. Okay, retain their customers and hence retain their market share, and therefore achieving dynamic efficiency. Make sense? Okay, very good. So we have our first point here. Okay, so it's along this line. Of course, I try to like you find that by actually approaching the question this way, it's actually easier to answer because you have like a comparison, right? Like before, what is likely to happen to like what is likely to be the level of dynamic efficiency. But what happens if, let's say, there's this so-called threat of competition? Oh, so what will happen to the so-called DE in this case, right? Okay, very good. Now let's move. I'll just save this. Then after that, I can clear this drawing. Do you need to take down anything from here?
I took down already.
Oh, took down. Okay. No worries because later I'll send it to you as well. Okay, so you have.
It's okay.
Okay, so you don't have to be so
Okay.
tedious. Okay, can so because it's quite good, right? Okay, so this is basically what other points do we have? Because we have only touched on DE. So what's the next one?
For allocating